Hey Jess, um, haven't done this in a while for you, so I'm really excited, and it feels good to kind of get back into the swing of things. It's been definitely a little bit of time away from doing the tarot videos, and it feels good to kind of finally segue, back in. Um, so Taurus season, here we are. Back into Earth sign, as you know, leaving the fire. So the transition, the last couple days might have been a little rocky. You might have noticed that because we've been going from, very strong cardinal fire into fixed Earth now. So the transition's a little weird, but here we are. So what's going on for you? Well, you have Saturn in your sign, so a lot of restructuring is going on, kind of like we were talking about, saying that you feel like it's getting you ready for a new chapter. That's essentially what Saturn is gonna do. It's really setting up the next. I think Amber said when it was in my son 27 years. So if you think about that's a long time to set up. But basically, that's what it's doing. It's going to restructure and purge everything that doesn't need to be there. And then, so my best advice could be, and it's also going to be karma. So just really watch what you're saying, watch what you're doing, pay attention to any lessons because that's all going to come out, and since you're seeing it now already, that's up, or even before it went to your sign, that's really a good sign because now, you're seeing that and it's just really going to come, much easier now for you, which is really good. Just really, pay attention and be on top of that and you'll be golden. Pluto is, I think now officially retrograde. So a lot of purging, a lot of endings and beginnings there too. Really a lot of collapsing and destructuring of things. So, and that's in Capricorn. So, really looking where, again, with the restructure, it's breaking down old things and we're going to restructure new things. I think Pluto's in retrograde for a couple months. That doesn't seem right. I want to say a few months. Maybe longer. I don't know. And then toward the end of Taurus season, Saturn goes retrograde in your sign. And then we have Venus going retrograde. So once Saturn goes retrograde, it's a double dose of karma. So like the karma is just heightened. Just be alert. We'll talk about it in the reading because it's been popping up. That Judgment card has been popping up for people, and it's not playing any games. Like it's like exposing people, and people are thinking that they can get away with manipulation and bullshit, and it's like, huh? That's what you think. No, it's not gonna work. Also, there's the bookcase. Ta-da! No, it's nice glory. Still got to figure out a spot for the mugs, but work in progress here. Once the roller coaster's done, I think we're gonna get that pantry or two, and just put them in there and start cycling through them. So I'm excited for that. But enough about decor changes. We can talk about that when I see you. Let's get into the reading. Okay. Cards already being chatty. Bottom of the deck, 9 of Cups. That's really good. All right, and first two cards out are the World in reverse and 3 of Wands. So, like we were saying, right off the bat, Pluto retrograde, Saturn in your sign, restructuring everything. Things are ending, beginnings, and it might require you to take some risks to really get what you want. Right? Let's pull that 9 of Cups. But everything that you have been wanting for a while now is really going to start to come to fruition. And since you really are already seeing those signs popping up, here we are. My next piece of advice would be the repeating numbers. So I know we always joke about seeing repeating numbers. We're like, gross. But I've been in communication with my grandma, my deceased grandma, and she likes to talk to me quite a bit. And lately, she's been talking to me quite a lot. But every time I see repeating numbers, I'm like, okay, it's a message from her, that I'm on the right track. Or, hey, stop beating yourself up. Or, hey, do this. I think for you, it's the same thing. I think it's your abuela talking to you and being like, hey, you're doing okay. So I would just really, the next time you see him, just kind of think about it. And I know you maybe don't want to think about her because, she's no longer with you, unfortunately. But I definitely think she's watching over you, for sure. So, um, yeah, I think it's good. And um, yeah, more to talk about that later. I'm just gonna get emotional if I keep thinking about it, so let's not. All right, bottom of the deck continued. Wow. Okay, really good stuff. We're just gonna pull the whole bottom of the deck. That's gonna be a whole reading. Three of Cups, the Devil, Ace of Cups, the Lovers, Eight of Pentacles. So, as far as I know, I could be wrong. Gemini, I think it's Venus is still in Gemini. So, and then with Saturn in your sign, there's a lot of restructuring in terms of relationships, like friendship relationships, like interpersonal relationships, but also love relationships, and that's really coming up here. But it's all really good things, and it's the kind of relationships that you've been wanting for a long time, and you really start to see those come in, and you put in the work, and you're not the only one putting in the work though. People that want to be here with you, and you're figuring out who really wants to be here. And you kind of have felt it for a while now, who wants to be here, that really comes in, and they're also putting in the effort just as much as you were, or are, which is a welcome sign, because we know for a while it definitely hasn't been like that, so that's really good. This is a really good thing for you. Saturn can be scary. Let me tell you. It's going to come back into Capricorn, and I think around August, September, and finish up the year there before it goes back into your sign, like, for good. Well, not for good, but for the next, 3 or so years. I was nervous, and I was like, damn, I need to, these lessons that I'm going to get taught, and the thing with Saturn is, if you don't learn the lesson the first time, it's going to do it again, and do it again, and do it again, and each time it does it again, it's worse. It gets worse and worse and worse. And the perfect example for me was with work. We saw that in who to trust, who not to trust, putting too much trust into people and not the right people. So we saw that happen. And there it was, and this is good though. This is looking good. It seems like you've already learned the lesson, and now it's like, okay, so now the karma comes in good, and it's like, yeah, here we are, and moving into Gemini season, it really looks like, giving you the cards are like, let me give you a little sneak peek. It seems like the relationships really get really solid, which is good. This could also be relationships with yourself. So the relationship with yourself, in terms of what's working, what isn't working, let's restructure that. But it looks like, there's a newfound, in a sense, newfound self-worth, for yourself, right? Ace of Cups, Lovers, that could be love towards yourself easily, with Ace of Cups, that's really good. Taurus is all about showing your worth, and how much are you worth, and that's, definitely coming up in the reading too. And that's kind of another thing with the relationships, tying that in. We're purging out things that are toxic, things that we don't need to have anymore, things that need to go. And here we are. Ta-da! You know what I mean? So it's good. It's really, really good. So we have 8 of Pentacles, and that turns into 8 of Wands. So really quick changes coming. What kind of quick changes are coming? Well, I could pull bottom of the deck, but let's not. Let's not, because I don't think it could. We'll see what happens. If it wants to pop out, it's going to pop out. Like I said, if it wants to pop out, it's going to pop out. What's at the bottom of the deck? There it is, Mr. Tower. All right, now I got to pull it because Tower. It's like, you were there once, twice. All right. King of Swords in reverse. That's interesting. Huh. There might be... Saturn might test you a little bit. Toward that, first, second week of May, you might get a quick, test. And the test is going to be either with an authority figure or an Aries. And someone that might, if this isn't you, if King of Swords isn't you, the logic seems to disappear with this person. And instead, emotions get roped in. Saturn doesn't want you to do that, though. It wants you to stay calm, cool, collected, see what the lesson is. What's this tower moment bringing you? You know, it's just a restructure. You know, we can't avoid the tower moment. It's always there, you know, but just take it. This is just Saturn again, Saturn and Pluto right here. And then, you know, residual Aries energy and Mars, you know, also 8 of Wands, Mars. This could also be impulsive decisions. So again, you know, with the karma and stuff, like I've been saying, just be careful. Don't put too much emotion into things. Kind of draw back and, you know, use that high priestess energy that likes to come up all the time for you. Pull back and pull the emotion out and just look at things logically. Don't let the emotions get too ahead of you, because if they do, you know, the consequences could be a little, you know, in the, not grave, but like things that you don't want. Because, oh, okay, we're gonna pull this, because it can become quite the BPD situation. Let's put it that way, because here we got, it's literally one extreme and the other extreme, back to back to back, and then we have 10, 10, 10. 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands, 8 of Swords. So if you don't do it, awesome. But if you do it, not good. If you don't do it, cool. Hard work will pay off. But if you don't, so there's your warning. And it's, you know, the cards are giving you both options. So you can stay super stuck, or you can get super stuck and then, you know, still have all the things and be super stuck, or you can not be super stuck and continue to have even more good things. Bottom of the deck continued. Okay, yeah, this is, we're gonna pull this. This is gonna become a big old reading though. We'll look at this in the extended, and I'll pull it then. I'm gonna pull it aside now, but we'll really talk about this more when we shuffle out. But Knight of Wands, 7 of Swords, Strength, Death, and the Star. There's going to be, you know, like I said, you know, this Scorpio full moon is really coming up, and there it is. And this is also you, though. You know, and then bam, obviously ending with you. Oh, and then you know what? Let me pull this one too. 9 of Pentacles. By the end of Taurus season, you have a newfound worth and a newfound courage, which is great. It's amazing. You know, it's all really good, which leads me to believe that you don't fall for that, you know, 10 of Swords, 8 of Swords pitfall, which is really good. But if you're dealing with a Leo, just be careful. Leos are on some, I don't know what they're doing right now, but they're really on some bullshit. The last couple readings I've been doing, they've been real manipulative, and that is definitely showing up here with Knight of Wands and then 7 of Swords, telling and, you know, trying to get you to say some lies around the Scorpio full moon. Here's the thing. This Scorpio full moon is not going to play any games. It's really going to tell you where you need to fix yourself and, like, fix it fast. But also, it's going to tell you who needs to be told about themselves as well. And that's why judgment's been coming up so much. And, you know, people aren't listening and, you know, saying what they need to say. You know, who needs to be told what? Excuse me. Essentially, it's what we're looking at. So, who needs to hear what? You know, think about that. If you're dealing with a Leo, you know, the only Leo I know of is your brother. But if you've been needing to tell your brother some things, listen, say it before the full moon, because if you don't, it's just gonna come out and it's gonna be sharp. It's gonna be real sharp. I'm like telling people, like, you know, be careful, because those horns that Taurus has, they're like, by the time we get to the Scorpio full moon, the bull is charging, and it's, you know, everyone better watch the fuck out, because it's just not playing around. Alright, so let's take a look at the cards. I'm just getting them set up. This is a big reading. Big. Like 20 cards here. Can't fit them all on the screen. Alright, So I'm gonna have to do them like two-part. Okay, so here we go. I can't even fit them all on the damn screen. Okay, there we go. Jesus. Okay. So, I can do a quick recap. So, things are ending, right? New beginnings, taking risks to move forward and get, the kind of things that you've been wanting for a while now. 9 of Cups, 3 of Cups, those relationships, friendships, everything. Saturn's coming in to test those, who's going to be here, who needs to go, who's actually worthy of your love, and who's working hard to get there. Right? And also this is you working hard. And then, bam, you get tested again. And, it's like, okay, great, you did the work, but now let me test you and see if you really did the work. Did you really do the work? And, where does it play out? And then 8 of Swords, we have that moment there where that's a possibility. The Knight of Wands, the 7 of Swords, Leo, Scorpio, you, right? You finding that newfound worth. And where does it go from there? Well, so let's check it out. So what's ending specifically? Let's see if we can find out specifically what's ending. Well, that was fast. Queen of Cups right off the bat. The emotions are ending. So what the emotions are ending, and what the cards are telling you is to trust your intuition. Now, going forward, trust it even more than you've already been trusting it. This card is second in terms of intuition, High Priestess. So, trust the intuition. And what are you leaving behind? You literally can't travel right now, as we know, with this quarantine. There is no traveling. So what's being left behind? Or what are you being asked to reevaluate and take a risk on? Interesting. Justice, Hangman, Knight of Cups. If somewhere, you've been maybe feeling stuck with your relationship with Daniel in some cases recently, or you've been giving it a lot of thought, remember that this is self-imposed stuck. If this isn't it, this is karma related to something that you may have said in terms of love, or if you're talking to somebody right now, this is something karmically related to that. Either way, my advice here would be, if you need to say something to Daniel regarding you guys, I would say it sooner rather than later. But again, be mindful of how you're going to say it. But say it soon rather than later to get out of this hangman position. But it's... But then with 3 of Wands, though, I don't even think it is Daniel, because this is leaving something behind. So that leads me to believe this is something karma and something that you've been thinking about that's been leaving you kind of stuck, and something that you thought was going to work out, but then it actually didn't work out, and you need to leave it behind. If this is about the Capricorn and you're still talking to her, honestly, just cut it off. It's not going to work out, and it's not going to be worth it. It's not worth your time. 9 of Cups, I think, is self-explanatory. 3 of Cups. Something's telling me to clarify this, because now, after seeing this nonsense, I'm like, okay. I'm like, is this some third-party bullshit? What's going on? 7 of Cups. Okay, yeah, this is leading me to believe that this is another relationship that needs to get cut out. So, there's some confusion here about, again, someone you thought maybe you could trust them, but they're confused as to why you're trying to cut them off. If this is, if this is the Capricorn, like literally, if this is her, but also, representative of Saturn, and she's confused, like thinking, oh, I thought things were great between us, hence the 3 of Cups. You know, if listen, she's just being delusional because things aren't good. So now I'm really curious if you're talking to her, but I'll tell you this much. If you stick with her, listen, right? It's going to show up again, and it's going to show up much worse. She's going to hold you back. It's not worth it. Let it go. Let it go. It's all an illusion. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Fucking Elsa over here. But really though, end it. Cut ties sooner rather than later. Do it before the full moon down here because you don't need to be going back and forth between this. Don't put yourself through this back and forth nonsense. It's just not worth it. Okay. Let's look at the lovers and the cards are really chatty. Let's look at the lovers in 8 of Pentacles. Is there something that needs to be worked on relationship wise? What is it? 2 of Wands came out, or sorry, 2 of Swords came out, and then bottom of the deck, I'm gonna pull it, 5 of Pentacles. If you've been stuck in relationships and you feel like there's some internal conflict or some, just external conflict overall, that's really showing up here. But again, as we, pull the next 3 major arcana, it's all going to work out. High Priestess, Wheel of Fortune, Empress. So we have obviously the High Priestess, again, this is Jupiter. This is also kind of Saturn though, because of fate. Empress is Taurus. That's also Venus. It's going to work out. But the key here would be, again, pull back and observe and just let it do its work. Manifest into the Wheel of Fortune what you want. Those pentacles, boom, throw them in. What do you want? That'll get you out of this position and, not feeling stuck. If this isn't you being stuck, it's someone that is, again, the manipulation is just like popping up everywhere. It's someone that's trying to stir up drama to get in between of you and the relationships that matter to you the most. Cut them out. Focus on the prize. Don't pay them no mind. No mind at all. And you know what? That would make sense because then here is King of Swords and you're like, well, but I'm feeling a certain type of way. Emotions. Don't fall for it. Let's look at the Tower. Tower moment's been coming up for a few, quite a few people. Uranus also in Taurus, which is representative of the Tower. It's shaking things up unexpectedly. So, be careful if you sense you're getting a little too emotional about some things. Try and just pull back, and pull back and really think about it. Do not be aggressive. Now is not the time to be aggressive. Because you don't want to be aggressive running toward that tower. Nobody wants that. Don't do that. Don't. Just pull back. If the Knight of Swords isn't you, then it is someone that is trying to really come in here and be like, what the fuck? Yeah. It's one of the two. Again, if this is the Capricorn, girl, come on. Cut her out. Please do it. And you know what? Afterward, give yourself a rest. Take some rest. Focus on the relationships that matter the most right now. You might want to see someone else, but you know what? Now is not the time. Rest. I'm emphasizing the rest because it's been coming up a lot as well. You know me, I don't rest for shit. So I'm trying to, as the person that doesn't rest, that is trying to rest, I'm letting everyone know that when it comes up, you all need to rest. Alright, let's look at the Emperor. If this is either if it's Aries, a father figure, or somebody that the impulsive decisions, like I was saying, you're really feeling impulsive and that energy is just coming up, it's going to make you feel stuck. So again, the rest is needed because what comes after that? Here we go, right? You got choices to make. 10 of pentacles, I mean 10 of, do you want 10 of cups or you want 10 of swords? Do you want 10 of wands? Do you want 8 of swords? Which do you want? And you literally weigh out the options. 6 of pentacles, but do you give the crumbs to yourself or do you give them to somebody else? I think it's time to give the crumbs to yourself. You've been giving crumbs to other people for way too long, and what do? They just shit on you. No, enough of that. That's old Jessica. This is new Jess. Right? You're going through... Saturn is literally going to take you through another rebirth. And with Pluto, like I said, it's just not going to play games. Not going to play games at all. So, just take advantage of the energy and like really focus on it as best as you can. 10 of cups, 10 of cups, 10 of swords, 10 of wands. Like, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, like I said, with the options, and, going, back and forth there. Let me pull out 8 of swords too, and we'll just do a collective clarification. Just see if there's anything else that we need to know. If it's a good card, I feel like we can apply it toward, obviously 10 of cups, 10 of wands. If it's not necessarily a good card, we can apply it to the other ones. Or maybe it'll be something that's neutral. Okay, yeah, neutral. But, bottom of the deck looks good. Okay, so here we go. I said neutral, but I looked at the bottom of the deck and I'm like, no, it's the 10 of cups route, which is good. This is really good. You end up overcoming the situation. Even if you start to feel like this 10 of swords, 8 of swords energy, because you did go this route, maybe you feel a little guilty, and you feel guilty about this, you end up leaving it behind. So 3 of swords, 8 of cups, which is really good. Don't beat yourself up about it. You just hone in the energy and be like, no, I deserve this. It's all about worth, right? Like we said, it's all about worth. Are you worth it? And the answer is yes. You are worth it. You are definitely worth it. You deserve this, right? Leave this behind. Lean on the people that, matter to you to help you get through this if need be. It's all looking good. All right, I'm just going to move this up a little bit. So you can still kind of see it, but just so I can lay out the last few cards. So then, like we said, though, because this person, whoever it is, excuse me, if it really is the Capricorn, they are trying, honey, let me tell you. But you got other plans, which is good, right? Rebirth, boom, boom. Hey, how are you? All right, let's look at Knight of Wands. What kind of, and in Seven of Swords, we know whatever they're going to say is a bunch of bullshit, but what's the bullshit related to? Come join business with me, I'll make you rich. Oh my god, I'm going to buy you the world. Give me a fucking break. That is such a Capricorn thing to say too, in terms of like manipulation and shit, like, oh, I'll buy you the world, honey. Oh my god, you're my one and only, and blah. Get the fuck out of here. Like, coming from a Capricorn that can be manipulative sometimes, yeah, get the fuck out of here with that. Instead, and they have Sagittarius placements too. Lord help us all. But if not, this is, find the balance, between do you want this bullshit or do you want you? And we know what you want, so you want you. What's up with this Leo? If this is someone else, or if the Leo is, the Capricorn and they just have Leo placements, I don't know, what's happening here. But what is it? What do they want? You're tossing back and forth about it, but why? Why? Or maybe they're tossing back and forth about you, but why? Oh, the card is literally, it's, where do you see it? It's the Fool, literally jumping off the desk and into, fucking pitfalls of the earth here, because it involves taking a risk. Yeah. if this isn't a Leo, this is the universe giving you the courage, but then you being like, do I take the risk to rebirth and, finally feel like some sort of self-worth? Do I, become my ultimate self and chase the dreams that I want? Do I start this new chapter? The answer is yes. Of course it's yes. Is it gonna be scary? Hell yeah, it is. No one said it's gonna be easy. But again, this is why we're doing the groundwork up here of getting rid of those relationships that don't matter and keeping the ones that do matter and, the ones that you can lean on. So when you get time to the end of Taurus season and you're ready for this rebirth with that Scorpio full moon, yeah, you can lean on those people when you're feeling kind of scared and be like, I don't know, should I do this? And the answer is, of course you should do it. You should do it. Big opportunity coming. Right in time for Gemini season. Boom. Communicate. Communicate what you want, or someone's going to bring you an offer. It's good. Good stuff. All right. A little groundwork to do up here, but otherwise really good. Let's look at Scorpio. So obviously this is you. Last week for sure. But I feel like death is also representative of the rebirth that's coming for you, but also the full moon. So what do we got? What's the lesson here to learn? Because we've purged, but what else needs to go? Where else are we lacking? And the cards are like, no, nothing else. Or are you like, I don't want to know. Which is it? My goodness. All right. Oh, there we go. Interesting. 6 of Wands. When there's victory in the public eye, own it. Don't care about what everyone else thinks. Because you know what? You're that bitch. You're that bitch now. Own it. Own it. That's what it's saying. Own it, and because you know what? The things you wanted for so long are going to start showing up. Right? We manifest up here with 9 of Cups, and then by the end here, boom, here it's coming. Right? Oh, okay. So, hey. All right. Let's look at you. Okay. We have 5 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, the Magician, the Chariot, 10 of Pentacles. Interesting. Something that maybe it's something, a project or, a relationship that maybe you feel like you hasn't been moving as much lately. You suddenly get this burst of inspiration. You have all these tools to suddenly forge a new, very successful financial path. The one that gives you stability and, you feel really, really good about. Almost like, it's been meaning for this to happen. So, yeah. That seems really good. Looks really good. And again, this is Saturn giving you those tools to, because you've restructured and it's like, okay, here's some tools, make it happen. So make it happen. All right, let's look at 9 of Pentacles. And see, really quick, the bottom of the deck, the Sun, Page of Pentacles, let's take that. So yeah, new beginnings, new blessings coming. It's going to be really good. And it's not going to seem like, it's possible. And I think because you take that risk, it ends up playing out. So 9 of Pentacles. The self-worth rebirth is complete. you're showing the world, hence a 6 of Wands, that you are worth it. The universe sees it. It's like, here you go. So what ends up... What do we need to know about 9 of Pentacles? What about new found worth? What about it? And then with the rest of the cards, we'll do a little sneak peek into Gemini season. Okay. 4 of Cups. If you're feeling a little bit of doubt once you get here because things don't seem real, the answer's in front of you. But if this is someone that's trying to make you feel this way, they need to be told about themselves very quickly. All right, like I said, judgment is popping up for everybody and not playing games. So there's that. As a result, though, once you quickly overcome that, and you tell them all about themselves, here comes in 4 of Wands, 2 of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. Like, talk about an upgrade. It's like, I'm here, and I'm here to stay. We love that. Great. So what does Gemini season look like? Well, let's see what we got. I'm just going to read bottom of the deck. We won't shuffle out. It looks like there's going to be some more purging going on. Something that, maybe you've held onto for a while. 6 of Swords, 5 of Cups. In terms of, either creativity or, traditions, values, family, childhood, it's something that's been really weighing heavy on you anxiety-wise, and that has been just full of, like, deception. Victory. But full of deception. Yeah. This is good. This is another purge, and that's going to set you up for the next, which is really great. What's the next? Here we are. Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords. You're on the throne. You got the fire in you to be like, boom, 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 create. Page of Cups. We're starting new projects. 2 of Cups. At this point with someone, it looks like it's a relationship kind of project. Someone that you trust to work on this project with, and it is a little slow moving, but you're either that or you're taking things slow, which is good, and really working on planting those seeds. And, speaking very clearly about what you want out of this, and the things start to come into play, all those opportunities, and you have your emotions balanced, especially when it comes to looking at yourself. There it is. Oh, there it is. Really good things. The best thing I can tell you right now, though, is to make sure that you purge. Purge. Because I've seen it happen already to people that I've done readings for in Aries season when I said, hey, you need to purge. And they didn't purge. And they're like, can you figure out why the last 2 weeks have been crap? And I'm like, So I did it, and I did a reading about why the last 2 weeks have been crap. And sure enough, here we were, and it's because they didn't purge. And then when I did the extended for it, I was like, if you purged, here's what would have happened. And now it's just delayed. We don't want to delay this. This is really good stuff, and we don't want to delay it. Go get it. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Obviously, I'll see you soon. Yeah. I love you. You got this.